I was so concerned about because within 3 days of going to Russia, I had to register my visa with the local authorities, but there was nobody in the administration building. Well, your mom luckily got us eventually registered, but I remember you and I decided I should go to the police department to have that thing registered, right? So the guy takes my little visa, goes back, and then about 5 minutes later came back out and said, "Nobody cares about your visa. С Новым годом."
Gosh, I don't remember that.
I do.
How come I don't remember that?
Because these were American businessmen, and he was there, and there were two Russian guys and two American businessmen. And I remember this guy, the Russian guy said, "Well, look," because they were apparently trying to negotiate some kind of a business deal. And the guy said, "Look, well, I don't know what deal you want to work out, but you have to understand that if you want to work out a business deal, you have to do it before July 1st. And the guy said, "Why?" And he said, "Because everybody, in about a week, everybody's going to leave to go to their dashas, and you won't see them for the next month. And nobody's going to do anything for the next month. So if you want to get it done, you have to do it in the next week."
Да, если какие-то вы хотите бизнеса делать в России, это до июля, потому что все на даче будут. Я вообще не знаю, о чем он говорит, я этого вообще не помню. Он говорит, ты помнишь, говорит, как самый последний Новый год, когда мы справляли в России, я приехала, и мне надо было поставить печать в паспорте на визу, когда ты иностранец приезжает, да, надо зарегистрироваться на какое-то время, нужно было поставить печать, я вообще этого не помню, говорит, твоя мама, говорит, в администрации выходные были, Новый год, открыла свой кабинет, пришел какой-то человек, поставил мне печать в паспорт. Ты, говорит, это не помнишь? Я говорю, вообще этого не помню. Говорит, мы сначала пошли в полицейский участок, чтобы поставить, I'm talking about the stamp.
Yeah, well, you know, but that's just it. It was that visa. I had within 3 days.
Да, через 3 дня после прибытия надо было поставить печать. И говорит, мне, говорит, полицейский отдал паспорт, сказал, с Новым годом, идите, ваша виза здесь никого вообще не волнует, с Новым годом, отмечайте, продолжайте отмечать.
I still remember that guy walking out. I remember the look on his face, he just had this big grin on his face.
Потому что самый законопослушный. Вся страна Новый год отмечает, этот с визой приперся. Печать поставьте мне. You just obey the law, baby.
Yes.
И потом говорит, ты помнишь, говорит, мама открыла свой...
I can't believe that you don't remember your mom opening her office.
I don't remember that.
And she opened her office and brought that person in just to stamp my visa because they were.
Твоя мама, говорит, в администрации, говорит, ты помнишь, она открыла свой офис, и этот человек пришел с печатью из откуда МВД или как они называются, я не знаю кто, и поставил мне печать. Я говорю, вообще этого не помню. Вообще не помню. I don't remember that at all.
I remember like it was yesterday because she did it specifically so that woman would stamp my visa.
Она говорит, всю администрацию, говорит, открыла свой офис в администрации, и пришел человек с печатью, который нужно было поставить, поставил печать. I don't know. Well, maybe I was concerned about other things.
I thought I was the only one with memory problem.
Я говорю, да, вот такой у меня проблемы с памятью. И у меня похоже тоже. Вообще не помню этого. Вообще не помню. Столько мне сейчас говорил про Хрущева, говорил. I'm talking about Хрущев. Я, говорит, меня, говорит, я когда приехал первый раз с тобой познакомиться в Россию, у меня, говорит, ассоциации с Россией, Советским Союзом были вот Хрущев, вот, да, вот он бьет ботинком по столу. И у меня, говорит, такие ассоциации были, потому что мы готовились к войне, к nuclear. Yes.
When I was I think when that happened, I was in kindergarten maybe, and I remember they stressed that this was like a big deal. And I swear to you that my kindergarten teacher looked terrified. Everybody was terrified. They all thought that we were going to get nuked. They all thought that they were going to nuke specifically my town and all the steel-making towns, because we were the heart of industrial America, and it was leaked that my hometown was 13th on the list because of the towns they wanted to nuke because of the steel industry and such. Because steel, coal, all that stuff. I mean, it was kind of a big deal. We were like the fourth or fifth largest steel-producing city in the country at the time. So it was kind of a big thing. You know, it'd be like magnetocourse gifts. If somebody leveled magnetocourse. So, so we all lived in fear. We all thought it was a big deal. And then whenever I remember when Khrushchev did that deal of banging his shoe on the table at the UN, we will bury you. I mean, everybody was freaking terrified. And so it was kind of scary shit there, really.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, they had regular air raid sirens. I mean, seriously, that happened during the time of the Cuban Missile Crisis and up through the about '64. Anyway, I think they used to do that at least twice a week. Twice a week. Think about that, air raid sirens. When have you heard an air raid siren? Now in this era, never.
Brian, I was in first grade, and I remember once a week or twice a week, or maybe every day, we had to get ready for the nuclear war.
Oh yeah, we did.
We had basements.
Yeah,
we had gas masks, everything ready.
We didn't have that, but we had duck and cover drills, where you got under the table.
Yeah, we had those too. Yeah.
We
had to practice that.
I was telling somebody that recently. The thing about that though was, the elementary school that I went to was old school. It was built in the 1940s, so it had I think the basement walls were concrete. They were 2 feet thick. So that literally, you could have survived a nuclear war in that basement. There's no question. I don't know about the rest of the school, but still the rest of the school was pretty solid too. But it was all registered as an air raid shelter, and I believe that I don't know if it was right at the time of the Cuban Missile Crisis. It might have been, but I know the Civil Defense is what it was called, or the Civil Defense Department, which doesn't exist anymore, had an evacuation drill, and I think they had them maybe once a month, where we were all supposed to participate and go to your local civil defense thing, wherever it was, and and figure out what would happen in the event of a nuclear war. And I remember we did that at least twice that I can remember.
Yeah.
It seems all completely nuts. It seems like something out of a, one of those post-apocalyptic things like Fallout, like we're watching Fallout or something. But it really did happen that way. That's why I think that game, that's why that was able to be pulled off that way, because really, if you lived in that time frame, that wasn't that big a reach to envision how that could happen, because there were a lot of weird conspiracy theories, but also the federal government was absolutely terrified of a nuclear war. They really believed it would happen, and there was a reason they believed it would happen. You know why?
And we believed it would happen.
Yeah, but you know why? There was the one defector who basically, the reason Khrushchev got removed from power was because he was going to have one. He had every plan on using those missiles in Cuba, and he was going to launch it preemptively. That's the reason that one guy flipped and told Kennedy what they were doing, because he knew what was going to happen, and he was afraid of what would happen after the fact. You have to understand that the way they had it structured at the time, the U.S. government would have survived, and they would have just, the whole planet would have been in the goddamn cinder, because they had, their plans then were mutually assured destruction. They would have just unleashed all of our nuclear warheads at Moscow. It would have been a parking lot.
Yeah.
For the next, it would have been Fallout.
Fallout, yeah.
Yeah, it would have been for the next, 200-300 years. There would have been nothing but a cinder on Earth.
I was in first grade in the beginning of 80s, and I remember we were getting ready for the nuclear war as well. We used to get masks ready, everything ready, reels. Yeah, we were trained. So you were a very brave man to come to Moscow.
Yeah.
You were a very brave man, baby.
No, I'm just saying at the time. That just with that as the backdrop.
Yeah.
The way you were raised, of that complete, utter, and total terror that was going on. It's just, you know, it's something that was a bit of a leap of faith, let's say, huh?
Yeah.
But I didn't know what to expect. And when but you know what? The thing is, that cab driver was smart, and he knew.
Yeah, that cab driver was sneaky.
He
Sneaky
knew what
fox.
I'd be thinking.
Yeah.
So he took me on the most dismal possible path to go to that hotel. So I would see like, you know, what looked really
The ugliest
kinda
pieces, the
terrifying.
scariest, yeah.
Yeah, but you know, cabbies do that a lot. Like they used to do that when you'd fly to the Caribbean or anywhere else in the world too. They'd take you through the most dismal neighborhoods in the hopes that you'd feel
Yeah.
sorry for them.
Yeah, and give them
wanna
more
give them a bigger
tips.
tip because
Yeah.
oh my God, these poor desperate people.
Yeah.
You know, meanwhile there's $1 million houses and shit. If you
Yeah.
drive another direction, it looks perfectly fine. You know, it'd be like taking somebody through Southeast Baltimore on the way back.
Instead of 95 straight.
Yeah.
Well.
But yeah, that was kind of something.
We lived through
That guy was
interesting
giggling-
times.
That guy was giggling like an idiot, and I knew something was up. And I could just see he had this big shooting grin in his head.
And she told you she never came.
Yeah, he said, "Oh, Anya from Tomsk. No, she never came." So when I walked in, I thought, "Oh my God, what did I do?" And then I saw you there in the lobby. I was like, "What the hell?" That beautiful. I just was amazed. I was really amazed because I thought you were way prettier in person than you were in the pictures. I thought you were pretty in the pictures, but damn, you were the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen in my life. And I was at once amazed and relieved.
That I was real?
Yes, I mean, you were actually. I didn't fly halfway around the world into the heart of what I consider to be still the Soviet Union, and you know what I mean, and that kind of thing.
Well, I remember your reaction, yes.
Oh, because you know what? That's the other thing. You know, aside from what we were talking about before with the old Khrushchev thing, there was that situation when I was, I think I was a junior in high school, and I was at that swim meet in Pittsburgh. It was called, what was it? That was I guess that was the Thanksgiving meet or whatever the hell they call it. I don't know what the hell they call it. But anyway, it was an annual thing, and it was like a big deal, and everybody went to this thing, and was one of the biggest swim meets on the East Coast, which at that time frame in the 70s,
Mm-hmm.
that was big. That was really big. And so we were staying at the, I think it was called the Chatham Center, which I don't think exists anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But that was like one of the cool places to stay because it was right next to the Civic Arena where the Penguins played and all that stuff at the time. And so, but I mean, that was like one of the places to stay. Keep in mind this is Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So it had kind of a New York flavor to it. So like when you came to the door of this hotel, you know, they had the bellhops with the little hats on and the whole thing, and they were really formal and greeted you, you know,
Yeah.
and valet parking and the whole thing, which wasn't like a thing back then, other than in like New York. Sure as hell wasn't in Pittsburgh, and you know, they had gold-plated elevators and all that stuff. And so, but at the time, the Red Army team was playing the NHL All-Stars, and at that particular weekend, they happened to be in Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got on the elevator, I think it was my sister and I actually got on the elevator. There were these Russian hockey coaches, you know, with their freaking hats and the whole deal. Just standing there, and they looked at me, they looked at my sister, just
Like, fleas! Couple fleas!
said something to each other, and I just said to my sister, I know exactly what those guys are thinking. They were thinking that I would not last 10 minutes in the Soviet Union.
Oh my gosh.
They looked like, I'm telling you,
I
they
can.
were absolutely stereotypes out of a Cold War film. It was, oh my God. If you had to pick out two guys to be Russian hockey coaches, they were the guys. They just were
I think I have a
absolutely-
clear idea
Oh,
of what
my
you
God.
saw
Oh,
and
my
what you
God.
experienced. So it was stuck on your mind.
They were absolutely stereotypes. But the other thing was, now you have to keep in mind. So the year after that, I'm a senior. It was the summer after my junior year in high school. I was training in Indiana, and the Soviet national team came out there to train with Doc Councilman in Indiana, because he was the Olympic coach for the U.S. and the State Department arranged it for them to come out there and train in Indiana at their outdoor pool. It was fascinating. Those guys, it was like something out of a science fiction film to me.
Mm-hmm.
All these guys were about the same height. They all looked like they had the same body build. They all looked like they had the same face, for God's sake. They looked like they were stamped out of a machine. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, and from the standpoint of, just, let's say, non-communist countries, I mean, that was kind of, it really was bizarre.
Yeah.
It looked like it reminded me of what they said that, the Germans used to do, where they had these breeding camps, really.
Yeah.
To breed the perfect Aryan soldiers.
All built
And
equally,
geez, they looked
equally the same. Yeah.
Those on Russian,
Yeah.
for Russian TV, a vacuum cleaner like that. But anyway, yeah, they look like they just came out of some kind of a genetic engineering thing, like they were programmed to be that way. And,
Like clones.
yeah, right, clones. That's what it looked like. It looked like clones, all the same guy.
Yeah.
Like 40 of the same guy. It was unfreaking believable. It wasn't so much just the height, but I swear to God that the bone structure, the face,
Yeah.
the muscle structure and everything, they all looked like
body
they had
build,
the identical physique.
Yeah.
And what I was told by one of those guys is that they were selected. They literally
Selected,
were selected
yeah.
based on their body builds and their height. They had to fit within a certain range.
Yeah.
And
The same
be a
height,
certain
the same
body build.
weight.
Yeah. And aside from just their swimming ability, they had to fit into that mold for them to be able to train and get that opportunity. And because of that, their families got certain privileges because of them participating in that, and so it was kind of a big deal.
It was a big deal. Come on, it was a
Yeah,
Soviet
no,
Union
it
time.
would be in any country, even independently of that, but still, particularly under those circumstances, in that time frame, that was a really big deal. I mean, think about it. Those guys got to come and hang out in the U.S. for 3 months.
During those times, Brian.
Right, during those times, that was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was a big deal.
Well, that would have been a big deal.
So you had a great experience, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're interesting guys.
Interesting.
Nice guys, actually.
Yeah.
They were nice guys. They were really, which I thought was kind of cool too, to see that they were like normal people. They weren't like, you watch those Cold War movies and you would see the way things were then. And you thought everybody was cutthroat or something, but they were just normal people, and it was kind of cool to see that too. It was kind of nice, actually. But still, I mean. Well, but those coaches reminded me of the
Tough.
hockey coaches almost.
Tough.
They still had that same.
It's like your favorite one, Tatiana, the figure skater coach.
Oh my God! Yeah, but that's different. That was well after the fact. That was when I was at JFK, and what that was like 2003, 2003, I think, fall of 2003.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was. Couldn't figure out why all those people kept going over and like paying homage to this woman, and she's sitting there. And they're all like, I mean, but you had to see it though. You had to see how these Aeroflot stewardesses and the pilots are all coming over, and they're like, and they're all coming down, and they're all like bending over, and and they're waiting in line.
And you had no idea who was sitting next to you.
Who
the hell is that?
And then I looked at her and I recognized her, and I knew she was. Then I remembered she was a figure skating coach, and then now seeing her on our TV, I'm thinking, okay, well that all makes sense now.
Yeah, it was
But,
your neighbor for 12 hours.
I mean, those people were like
That's
like
wonderful.
treated her like she was the queen of the world.
Yeah.
And you know,
She
has
is the
that.
queen.
She has that.
Yeah,
the way
that
she holds
posture,
herself,
the way
I mean,
she holds
acts like
herself,
she thinks
yeah.
she's the queen of the world.
Yeah, she is the queen. I love her.
I know.
I love her. I respect her.
I remember years ago. I remember reading this book about General Patton, and he made a comment that I guess during World War II, when it was prior to the Normandy invasion. He was in England, and he was training troops, and they were pretending like they were training for the Normandy invasion, which they really weren't. It was a diversion to try to misdirect the Germans away from what was really happening. But he went to this reception at some royal's house, right, and some royal family's house, and he got into a discussion with this one British guy about whether nobility and the air of nobility is genetic, or whether it's something that can be trained in someone. And he said, and the British guy's contention was that it's because of the bloodlines, and much like, you know, breeding in dogs, horses, anything else, that people are bred that way, and they believe in their innate superiority, and it's just something that they give off. It's that air of aristocracy that they're just born with, and commanded authority, and you knew exactly what the hell the deal was, and you knew
It's serious.
yeah, right.
There's no bullshit.
Right.
We're not joking here.
Right.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful to have those memories, you know.
I had a lot of good memories in my life. I was thinking about the other thing when
You're
I was
lucky.
in Indiana that time. There was that famous basketball coach, you know, in Indiana, Bobby Knight. I had no idea who the hell the guy was. You gotta understand, this was 1975. I think he'd only been there maybe 2 years at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But so we're in the cafeteria, and all of a sudden it goes dead quiet. I mean, literally, you could hear a pin drop, and everybody turns around and looks. And I said, "What the hell's that all about?" He said, "Oh, that's Bobby Knight." And I said, "Who the F is Bobby Knight?"
Yeah.
The Indiana basketball coach. And I said, "Okay." So.
So?
But I had no idea
Wow.
what a big deal he was. He was
Yeah.
like, you know, because I mean,
Yeah, the star.
I think it was the year after that they won his first of maybe 2 or 3 national championships. And so he was kind of a big deal. But he was a scary dude. I mean, it's a very disciplinarian kind of
Yeah.
guy. What is with this guy doing the push-ups with his girl sitting on his back?
I don't know.
Well, he ain't gonna lift her up.
Не смог поднять, господи.
They're all laughing. That makes her look bad. That's terrible.
Это любимая передача моего мужа.
That's just terrible. Not only makes him look bad, it makes her look bad. Like she weighs too damn much for him to lift her.
Любимая передача моего мужа. Давай
When he pushed that
поженимся.
other girl up about 10 times, and
Yeah.
this one he can't get off the ground.
Короче, кому-то завтра на практику идти, а мы угомониться уже не можем. Уже вспомнили и Советский Союз.
I remember seeing that with Alec Baldwin.
Алек Болдена видел. У меня муж кого только не видел, с кем он только не общался. У него подруга Шерон Стоун. Они же с одного города, с Пенсильвании. И его друг, он встречался с ней. Прям встречался. И вместе тусили Шерон Стоун. Представляете? Кого он только не знает, кого он только не видел. И очень много переводить, я не смогу все это перевести, не буду даже. Если YouTube захочет, YouTube же любит переводить, пусть сам переводит. Ну, короче, вспомнили про этой подготовки к ядерной войне. Я помню, мы тоже в школе учились. Мы должны были ходить в противогазах. У меня были длинные волосы, у меня противогаз постоянно запутывался в волосах, и так больно было, просто постоянно выдиралось, и все, ненавидела противогаз. И мы делали...
See, I thought she looked like she was the nicest one of the 3, actually. She was the only one that did seem like
Yeah.
she was nice. She did seem
Любимая
like a nice
передача.
girl. That's
Дай
all
ему
right.
еще включу. Пусть смотрит.
They were all 3
Сука,
of those
неделю.
girls were okay.
Выбирает же, сидит. И вспомнили, я говорю, мы тоже мы помним, мы в классах делали марлевые повязки.
Okay, so maybe
Сваты.
singing with a bad voice isn't a bad thing.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It does not matter how you sing.
It worked out okay. He's thinking, oh, this girl, there's no way anybody's gonna want to do it.
Brian, I'm recording. Oh my gosh, я уже забыла, что я говорила.
Somebody needs to work with a wardrobe, for God's sake.
И прятались в подвалах, обучение у нас было. Мы подготавливались. Я помню, у меня подруга была Лиля. Не Лиля, Лия. Я давно ее уже не слышала от нее. Ну, у меня были причины прекратить наше общение. Лия. И она меня постоянно мучила. Расскажи мне про Советский Союз. Расскажи, вот как были. Вот ты знаешь, Эна говорит, помню, мучила меня прям. Это было невыносимо. Ты знаешь, в каком мы страхе жили, что вы там забросите бомбу на Кубу и то все. Короче, такие разговоры у нас вот в последнее время с ней начались. У нас с ней была любовь прям. И что мы с ней, я не помню, почему. Почему с ней прекратили общение, я даже не помню. Ну, у меня какая-то причина была, я просто не смогла этого больше выносить. Не помню даже, но это не была причина. Я же не помню. Я все вспомнила, не буду про это говорить. Все вспомнила я. Ну, короче, она мне тоже говорила, расскажи мне про Советский Союз. Как что ты чувствовала? Говорит, я тебе расскажу, что и мы чувствовали. Мы очень боялись Советского Союза. Не знаю, с чего у нас такая тема началась. Я говорю, когда летела в Москву в первый раз, все, что я помнил, это Хрущева, который бил ботинком по столу и сказал, что? То, что сказал, да? И рассказывала сейчас мне. Я эту историю уже 1000 раз слышала. 1000 раз. Как он встретил из Советского Союза коучес, тренеров. Я, говорю, своей сестрой была. У меня же муж чемпион по плаванию. И они соревновались с Советским Союзом. Я, говорю, в лифте встретился с тренерами Советского Союза. Мне, говорят, так на нас посмотрели. Он вам показал, каким вот лицом. Вот как я сказала, как блохи какие-то, что мы вас сейчас здесь всех. И говорит, что было интересно, что приехала команда из Советского. Представьте, вот те времена, да? Это же очень большой вообще был дел из Советского Союза приехать, да, команда пловцов. Говорят, они были все одинаковые, просто как клоны, как на подбор. А я помню, я только в страну, когда приехала, я нашла коробку, я не могла, у меня, думаю, что-то с головой, что ли? Я же вижу наши советские значки, там КПСС, какой-то... Надо, кстати, значки эти найти, они где-то лежат еще. Значки какого-то завода еще. В общем, эти парни, они привезли вот эти вот значки, а он обменял их на джинсы. Он бегал, покупал джинсы, а те ему значки давали. У нас целая коробка со значками Советского Союза. Я не знаю, сколько он наменял джинс, вообще без понятия. Но такие вот интересные времена были, да? Вообще интересные. А что мы сегодня начали это говорить, я не знаю. У меня депрессуха, не депрессуха, у меня хандра. Я не хочу на практику завтра идти. Я сейчас разговаривала с своей группой, у нас вообще там просто конфликт идет. Yes, baby. I'm talking about you, baby. About your wonderful life. Хорошо вот такой, знаешь, опыт иметь в жизни, о чем есть что вспомнить и что рассказать. Хуже, когда есть что вспомнить, и об этом ты не расскажешь. Вот это вот гораздо хуже. А когда есть что вспомнить, о чем можно рассказать своей жене, своим внукам, детям, да, это здорово. Короче, у нас группа вообще вся просто воюет.
I met a lot of famous people though. Back when I was more politically involved, I knew all those people.
Ой, он вам столько раз сейчас расскажет, ребята, вообще. Сколько он знаменитых людей встречал. Я обожаю своего мужа.
including
Обожаю.
Bill Clinton, by the way.
И с, Билл
Bill
Клин... и
Clinton,
с Клинтоном
Bob Dole.
встречался.
Ronald Reagan, George Bush, all of them. I met them all at one time.
Рейганом и Бушем. У меня... I have one question. When are we fixing the bathroom upstairs?
Soon.
У меня один вопрос. Когда мы ванну будем чинить наверху? Меня это
I can't
больше
tell you
всего
something
волнует.
that I could tell you privately.